Hello and welcome to episode 195 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, the place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. I'm Vince Hunt, creator of The Red Mouse from Mars, and I'm here with the creator of the webcomic Vanguard, Dan Butcher.
Hello.
Our very own Eliza Doolittle, it's Tony Esmond.
You did really well to hold it together there, because I was trying to make you laugh immediately before we started.
Yep, I know.
Very well done, and proud of you again. I've been proud of you twice today.
Yeah,
thanks.
Time.
And I was very proud of you last weekend, Tony, but we'll get into
that. Thank you.
In a second, because we have another guest this week.
Yes,
we are joined by the brains behind Afterlight Comics, who's the publisher responsible for titles such as Wendigo Wood, Ghost Island, and Stay Awake, and even more to come, because seriously, they churn out loads of comics. Welcome to the show, Joey Oliveira.
Hello.
You alright, Joey?
Hey, Joey.
How you
All
doing,
right,
guys?
good man. Yeah, I did actually tell you before we came on that I thought you were a sick bastard. I may reiterate that later.
Yes,
that's my nickname, Joey Sick Bastard Oliveira.
And that's why he's more than welcome on this show. Yes, a lot of our listeners out there will probably know Joey's comics from his successful Kickstarter campaigns, which are always good. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
And his numerous convention appearances.
Record-breaking
number.
Yeah, just you wait, people. You're going to find out in a minute a little bit.
It's going to be a serious contender for the most cons done in a year.
There's got to be there's got to be some kind
I'm
of
not
thing
proud
we
of
could
that.
do.
I reckon Tom Ward could have a good.
Yeah.
We could get in the Book of Records. Couldn't we? Guinness Book of Records. Most conventions attended.
Yeah.
Half of them were conventions when I turned up.
Do you reckon our sponsor will ever get in the Guinness Book of Records?
Oh, we've got a sponsor.
We do indeed. Our sponsor is Comic House.
Ever done.
And,
you're going so well.
This will be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the worst advert segue for a sponsor you've ever seen. Actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. I think if people troll the library,
we've done
terrible ones.
Yeah.
And God bless Comic House for sticking with us, because they are the indie comic marketplace with a difference.
Do you remember the segues we used to do where I'd say, "Have you ever nailed your knob to a bit of wood?"
Yeah.
Do you remember those when we were in the early days? They were good ones,
and that was
they?
always to promote Chris Wildgoose's podcast.
It was, yeah. You ever stuck a cactus up your arse?
Yeah.
Like that.
Real classy way to sell your product, Tony. Real classy. But I tell you what is a classy way, and that's Comic House, because they have a huge selection of titles on their database. So if you've got loads of comics boxed up in your houses and you want to sell them, then you can list your book on there for free. And when you sell a copy, Comic House will only take 1 pence commission, which is brilliant in the self-published world where every penny counts. It's just another avenue to sell your book. And we always need them. But they also have an app, which is the be-all and end-all, and we talk about it every week. People normally joke with us that it's the Netflix for comics, because I said it so many times, but it literally is. And
I say that too.
Yeah, they have loads of great digital books on there. We read it pretty much every week, or sometimes I save it a couple of weeks, and then it's like having a pull list that just piles up a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that? Yeah,
Fuck me, piles up. You can't get in the room for my pull list of comics I haven't read at the moment.
Yeah. You need to cut back on some of your pull list titles, Tony, which I think you unfortunately might be doing soon.
You're contemplating that, yeah.
I pulled a couple of titles recently, that I was just thinking, what the fuck am I doing buying this?
Yeah. And you don't want one of those titles to be the one that finally kills you when the pile falls on top of you.
I know. It's like being bullied in the school playground. I just keep going back to the bully and going, punch me in the face again, please. and I'll give you £3.
Yeah,
that's how it was going at one point. Yeah.
But you don't get that with Comic House. You get nothing but
only get class with them.
You just get nothing but warm hugs in the shape of comics. So what have they got on there at the moment?
Oh my God.
Daniel.
We've got Tales from Beyond Infinity, issue 1, from the nerds that haunted themselves.
Nice.
You're in that.
We're in that.
I'm in that.
Yeah, Vince is in that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. We gave them a good thrashing at that quiz.
We'll never let them forget it.
Never let that go.
Listen, men. The Complete Alice in Wonderland, The Light, Legendary Tail Spinners.
John Reppiam and Leah Moore, isn't it? That one.
The Light.
No, the Alice in Wonderland thing.
Oh, okay. Let me see. It is. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Nice one. And
friends of the show.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely awesome. There's a dude in sort of like a Batman-style garb with 2 pistols, and it's called the Black Bat, the trade for Dynamite. So I'll be reading that.
That's good. That's a good series. I bought that when that came out. I actually quite like that.
Oh, nice one.
I'm not going to say that as soon as I see a comic book, I think, yeah, Dan, I love that. No, actually, I do think that.
We do. We think that all the time.
Yeah.
Once a week we send something. There's usually someone getting something happening to them
and mashed up.
I mean, for
mashed up. And we say, Dan, you're like this.
Yeah, and if there's one title that, if you say to us, name one title that is pure Dan Butcher just through and through, I'd probably say Bloodshot, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah.
With comics, can you judge them by their cover?
Yes,
of course. You've got to. That's the way they sell themselves.
Dan, every week we post the covers we like. We're literally judging comics.
I know, but that's but like you kind of the content of like there's some I've picked up. And wow, look at this fucking cover. It's like got a painted cover, and you pick it up, and it's this dreck inside.
Yeah, there's some companies that are kind of known for that. There was a few Dynamite titles, and Xenoscope are known for that, aren't they? You think, oh fucking hell, look tits, and then you open it up, and there ain't none. Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it?
It's not the case with Europe comics though.
No, they're all class.
Yeah. And thank you, Tony, for buying me and Vince that Masters of Spanish.
Oh, mate, I'm glad you loved that. I just thought
it.
Beautiful.
I bought it for myself, and it said, buy those two boys a present, and I did. Especially after I'd had an unfortunate weekend in Cardiff. It cheered me up by buying it.
Right, we'll get into that in a sec, and that brilliant book. But before you do, if you want to read any of those amazing comics we just read, as well as Awesome Comics 1, 2 and 3, then you definitely need a subscription to Comic House. It's only £3 a month, which is actually probably less than a weekly hard copy book in your local comic book shop. And we've all done it. We've all bought a single issue and just thought, what the hell do I waste my money on that for? So instead, put those £3 towards a Comic House subscription. There's a 14-day free trial if you're not sure about it. So go to comichouse.com and dive in head first. To this amazing world of small press and indie comics that we talk about every week. So there you go. But as we were saying, thank you. As we were saying, Dan, that Masters of Spanish, I've got it just here actually. Got it right in front of me. That's great. Masters of Spanish comic book art. Tony Esmond very kindly gifted me and Dan. Written by David Roach.
Who I met at one of the reasons I got it is I met David at Thought Bubble this year because I had a conversation with him about he's writing a history of British comics thing, and he was chatting through about No Brow with me, and I thought, and then I saw this, I thought, why haven't I bought this? This looks amazing, and it's written by him, and he's a really really good sort of comics historian. He really knows his stuff. Yeah, really interesting stuff.
I saw the tweet that you tagged us in, and I sent a photo of me holding it wearing sunglasses with a sticker on it with a fire that says lit.
I know. Like it. I know that. Dan, you're so extra.
That went straight in the bank. That one. There now.
I mean, but seriously, this is a beautiful book, and I will say, Joey, you know, in the sort of work that you like, you should definitely check this out.
It's been up your street, man. It's got that horror, that sort of classic sort of Spanish artist, Argentinian artist sort of horror stuff that you saw in Vampirella and stuff like that. You know,
and there's creepy and eerie sort of covers in here. It's beautiful art book,
definitely,
yeah. So thank you very much for that, Tony. I think this is a
pleasure, mate.
I had no idea existed. Do you know what I mean?
No, same.
Yeah, and another one that I just discovered recently. No, I'll save that for the shout-outs, actually. I will save that for the shout-outs. And we've got a few of them coming later.
We've got a series of them.
Yep. But before we do, we've got a little bit of convention talk. We're just going to talk, and all of us are going to talk about this because
we've got one to talk about, haven't we?
We briefly mentioned it last week. Obviously, it was a timey-wimey show we recorded before we actually went to the show. But
it seems like ages since I've been chatting to you guys. It seems like ages ago, doesn't it?
It has been for me.
Yeah.
Because
Tom Dick.
Yeah, because Dan Butcher is well again, aren't you? You're all right, aren't you, my love?
Yeah, I was fine.
Splendid.
Tom Dick doesn't refer to an activity he took up. It's rhyming slang. For those who didn't understand what that
meant. Yes, but Dan's back now, which is wonderful. But we obviously were at Cardiff Comics Carnival.
Yeah.
Which was
I was there, sort of partially there.
It was a great day. So thank you to anyone.
It was good. Yeah.
Because there was lots of new people who hadn't heard about the show. I certainly talked to a lot of people about what we do and the comics itself. Thanks to everyone that picked up Awesome Comics and just genuinely just talked to us about comics. It was just a great little event. I love these little events like this. You know, they're free.
We didn't do badly sales-wise. No. I know we don't normally talk about that, but we actually did quite well sales-wise.
Yeah, those small little events are at the beginning of the day, because it's so quiet just before the doors open, you think, what's this going to be like? And then there's always one point of the day where you look around and you think, Jesus, this place is packed. and it was.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it was really buzzing. Another thing that was buzzing was Tony Esmond, because he was he was feeling a little bit poorly.
So I went out. I went because it's a long drive for me to get to Cardiff. So I went down the night before and got a nice hotel and all that sort of treated myself. And went out. I thought, I've got time. I'm going to go. Rather than go in the bar, because there was some like lodgy Masonic moosey thing going on, and a load of people dressed up. So I thought, I can't go in the hotel bar because it's too busy. I'll pop out. So, oh my God, what's that?
Sorry, that's my phone kicking off.
Daniel Butcher, how long have you been doing this show?
Yeah, long enough not to make an error like that. Apologies.
So he's doing it again.
He's done
me again.
Oh.
He's done me again.
Sorry. Go on.
Anyway, so I thought I'll go out and get a bite to eat, and I literally walked across the road and went sort of first right, and there was a curry house. Fuck me.
Sorry, it's done. I'll send it off. Every time I turn on his phone on, this video's coming up.
Joey, we're really sorry about this.
Go on.
Yeah. Anyway, so I went for it. I had a Ruby Murray, and then the following morning we were all texting each other, all excited about the convention. And Vince texted me with, have you got the banner? And I'd normally send a long lem, and I just sent you a thumbs up, because at that point I was wallpapering the hotel room.
Oh, jeez. Is there no one else that was afflicted?
Well, no, I was on my own. I just went for a bite to eat.
No, I mean, like anyone else? Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, just table for one. And I fucking so the following day I said to Vince, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to die. And but I did make it. I just sat at the table. I think I was a little bit off my nut because I can't remember what happened.
Oh, there was some brilliant. There were some absolutely brilliant moments. And I don't mean I took no pleasure in how sick Tony was. I was looking after him all day, making sure he was okay.
Yeah.
But he was sort of sat there. I was stood up talking to people, and he was sat like on the bench behind me, just sort of going, like that. And people would come over to the table. For instance, Ian Matthews, the legend, the man, he came over and talked to, very kindly gifted me some books that I'm going to talk about a bit later.
Yeah.
And he was going, I watched the documentaries about Steve Rood. And then we started talking about Steve Rood. And Tony went, those documentaries are really good, aren't they? And he had a really lucid conversation for about 5-10 minutes. And as soon as it was done, he sat back down like...
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, I do. I do remember them.
Poor Tony.
Yeah.
And then I started taking pictures of you, Vince, didn't I? That was amusing me as well.
Yeah, that's always fun.
That's got to be really bad, like staying away from home and then you get in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I left about 2:30 or something, and then drove back, and then wallpapered the car park and the services on the M4 again.
Yeah.
And then passed out in my car. Like, if you saw me, you'd probably, what's that bloke drunk in his car for? and then I woke up and I felt fine. Drove home.
Yeah.
Thought, brilliant.
Nice.
Right now. It was a bit weird. Yeah. Had a bottle of water and felt fine. So it was a bit of a shame that it happened then, but at least I made it. I was a soldier.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone that was there. And and helped Tony get through it, because I think because it was a buzzing day, that really helped your sort of energy levels, didn't it?
It did. It kept me going. That was a good thing about it. Yeah, because we had Rachel Lee Carter and her little gaggle of gangsters on one side, and then we had who was on the other side? It was
Shan Jefferson.
Shan Jefferson, who was good company as well, just sort of giggling. At one point, I remember just going off on one and being ridiculous. And she was just sort of crying into her hands, because I think I went on my story about eating rhubarb again, or whatever it was.
I know that one.
Yeah.
Oh no, beetroot, the beetroot story.
Yeah, the beetroot story. Don't start them off again. Yeah. But no, that was a great day. So if you see any of these little events like this crop up that are very much, whether they're comic zine fairs or whatever,
give them a go.
Make sure you pop by, because they're always. God bless Josh and the gang, Josh Hicks, for setting it up, because they were walking around making sure that everyone was okay, and it was a great day. So thank you for that. Tony, you've done an event today, haven't you, Tony? You've been out.
Yeah, I've been to Ladies Do Comics today in Farringdon. Anyone knows Farringdon? It's sort of on the edges of trendy East London, sort of sort of quite trendyville, and it's in I think it's the Word Centre was the name of this place. And it was all right. It was good. And there was a load of friendly faces there. Rachel Ball was there. The Good Comics crowd were there. Mike Medagley was there. I went along with Aaron Rackley from Little Heroes. Went along for just a sort of day out, really. He's looking for artists and writers. So I thought, that's going to be a good place. And he handed out his card and that. Self-Made for Hero had a table. Myriad had a table. There was a sort of Kickstarter table It was all right. It's a nice little function. They had a bed in the corner, which was a bit weird. If anyone looks at the blog post I've written about it, there was a lady laying on the bed doing her computer, and I thought that was quite amusing.
Done with that last week, Tony.
Yeah, I've had a little lay down.
Yeah.
I'm a snorer though. That's the problem, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, and it was just sort of buzzy, friendly. And as me and Aaron walked out, some lady came over and said, "Do you want some cake?" And I went, "No, I'm all right, but that's nice. That's nice getting offered cake at the door of a convention, isn't it?"
Oh yeah. What sort of cake was it?
She didn't really say. I didn't really ask her to elaborate, but it's very kind of you. Yeah. I said, "Oh, no, we're off now." And she went, "Oh, if you want to come back, there's some cake for you." And I went, "That's nice."
It was like someone from the place. It wasn't just like some lady hanging around the outside.
That's it. Yeah. And I was going to call the blog post "A Trip to the Ladies," and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that.
That's good though.
Yeah.
I'm glad you shared that with us because that's quality. That's quality. Can't let puns like that go.
No.
Yeah.
It's all right, isn't it?
They're saying they're looking for more chaps to join the group. So
yes, you were saying they did. Saturday was a sort of not a closed session, but it was sort of appointment thing where you come in and you sit down with them and you go through your comic and they say what's good and what's bad and what you need to do to get it published. And they were saying that the percentage-wise, very few men came in and did it. And
this is a portfolio review.
Yeah, it's almost a bit like that. Yeah, like a review and like advice as well as the art. I think they talk to you about everything, every part of it. And they were saying, we could have done with a few more blokes. And I was like, that's fine, because I think I retweeted it and put a message out on Facebook and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's not, when it says ladies do comics, it's not just for ladies. I think people make that mistake. They think, it's just for ladies, but it's not at all.
They're totally just promoting the medium, aren't they? And
they are. And they're a big organisation now. They've got loads of clubs in the UK. I think there's one in India just opened. Wow. They're all over the place now.
They're doing good work. Yeah,
I would say there is probably a bit of confusion down to the name. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, they just need someone just to sort of say, no, come on. It's like
everyone's welcome sort of thing. Yeah. So if you see any of these events in the future, no matter what your gender is, head along and just
exactly. Yeah. And to finish up the terrible threesome, you've been to a convention this weekend as well, haven't you, Joey? You've been to an MCM, man, haven't you?
Yeah, last weekend.
Last weekend, yeah.
Yeah, Birmingham MCM. I'm just coming off a conflu a bit right now.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, it's been pretty brutal.
That's a 2-dayer, isn't it? MCM Birmingham, because that's the one. Whenever people talk about MCMs, obviously the London one is obviously the one that everyone talks about, but you don't hear so much spoken about how Birmingham and Manchester, etc., does, unless you're on like social media and people are posting, come and visit me at the table and stuff. What is the Birmingham MCM sort of feel like?
Birmingham's got the same all the same setup as London, guests and all that stuff. But there is 2 shows in Birmingham. There's March and then there's one in October and November. So it must do pretty well for MCM standards to keep them going. But for Comic Village, it is always mixed. This year it was better for Comic Village, but into the last, I've been there. This year was my 4th time there, and the last 3 times have always been mixed.
4th,
and I wasn't
do you go both times a year then?
Yeah, because I've had new comics, in between those times, so people come back and say, "Oh, what have you got?" I've got like 2 more, 3 more. So there's that. But this year was better.
Nice.
So
I heard they got some chap who used to run London Super Comic Con to help out with the Comic Village, from what I've heard, that he generally is getting a lot better and a lot more organised and sorted out. Yeah, so that's good. I think it's a bit more curation as well. Curation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. The first one. Have they got any comic guests in it? Do they have? I know John McRae does a few, and he's a Birmingham boy, and he usually does the London ones.
Yeah, I don't think they had anyone at the Birmingham one. But in London there was Frank Miller, wasn't there, in October? November.
Yeah,
that was a big one.
Yeah,
not for Birmingham, no.
I know Gary Erskine does them as well. I think he does some of the conventions as well. And John McRae. Yeah, I think they do quite well at them. If I was speaking to John McRae, he would say no, he does really well at them. Yeah.
I'd imagine that the big names usually do it at a show like that, though, don't they?
I'm not sure this is all over, but that one contract I was sort of taking a look at is the fact they get you say, right, I'm going to run 200 quid, and then if you don't earn that, the convention pays you. If you earn over that, it's like that's what you take
How
home.
do they know?
Yeah.
Well, how much they take? I don't know. Perhaps they have to show it.
Have
in
a
some
helper
way.
at the table or something.
But to be fair,
that.
if it was Frank Miller and like their queues ran the tables all day, and you go, actually, I didn't make the 200 quid.
Yeah.
Stroll on, Frank.
Just came for a handshake.
Yeah.
So, was this the best time you've been to MCM? Was it one of your more successful ones this time?
For Birmingham, for Birmingham, yeah. But the best MCM I've ever done is Manchester MCM.
Oh,
last
really?
year. Yeah, it was amazing.
How many times has the Manchester one taken place? Was
once a year,
it's only once. Yeah, it's a strange one. Birmingham is on twice a year. Yeah, it's quite mixed. But Manchester, I think it's because of that. It is mixed. If it was only just on once a year, then you have people maybe more people going and it not be too diluted.
Yeah,
village and things like that.
Do you find there's a difference? Because obviously your books are very much horror centered and like that sort of stuff. Have you noticed a difference in audience and like how well you do depending on the area of the country? I mean, for instance, horror. I would argue. I mean, not that I know, but I would argue that horror might be more popular further up north than in the south.
Grim as fuck up.
Well, where it's a bit grim, yeah, I get you. This is just inbuilt racism, Joey. I'm sorry about this.
The darkest corners of the UK.
Yeah.
Edinburgh, I do really good in as well. Edinburgh
right.
Comic Festival, which is actually next weekend as well.
Are you going to that one?
Yeah, I love that one. Always go to that
Me
one.
too, dude.
Nice.
I should see you there. I'm at that
brilliant.
one.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We was saying how many shows you did. Was it last year, Joey?
It was the
year before.
2017, yeah. Yeah, I did 29 conventions in that 1 year.
29 conventions.
29.
I booked them all in 2016.
So, in
advance.
Was that your first year then, 2017?
Yeah. So I Kickstarter for the first Ghost Island was in 2016, and then I started my convention run in 2018. Then
was that True Believers? Was that your first one?
Yeah, True Believers was the first one. Yeah,
and then you did 29.
So what was
it was pretty much one every weekend.
Yeah, what was the smallest one you did?
Oh yeah, I'll never forget it. For all the wrong reasons. There was this one that it was like just one of those like car boot style comic cons. It wasn't
right.
Like actual people selling comics. Yeah, stuff like
flogging
that.
Toys and shit.
And I got there, and it was Rochdale Football Club Stadium. Got in there, and it was all like in the bar was actually the Comic-Con area. The tables were the actual like dining tables that people would have their bar, food on or something at your table. You wouldn't have.
I'm just imagining in a Rochdale pub. I've been to a couple. I can't imagine the tables aren't sticky. There's going to be a sticky element somewhere along the ground.
Yeah, oh, man.
I went to set up in a corner. I was like, no, that's for guests. And it was a certain S Club member table.
What's his name again?
No, it's Hannah Spirit. Be the Spirit, wasn't it?
That's the one. Yeah. And the guy from Primeval.
Oh really? Oh, interesting. Yeah. I've just opened my fridge and he turned up.
Yeah,
I've got to give
everywhere.
10 out of 10 to his agent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He or she is on the case.
She's been in EastEnders, hasn't she now?
Hannah Spirit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you so up to date with soap operas, Tony?
I know about the Spirit. I know about her.
Yeah. Well, it actually got worse though, because I was then led to the basement of the football stadium. That's where like the rest of us were kept away from the guests.
Oh no!
And it was like on the other side of the stadium, so people didn't actually know you were there, probably there. And it was just sat there opposite like some pottery fella. Yeah, and some action figures guy, like a car boot.
Yeah,
this sounds like the
worst
day.
I was ready to pack it all in. at that point.
And people wonder why we do autobiographical comics. Doing
So I guess that's do the research before you turn up. I guess you didn't make that mistake again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, because I'd already booked like 29 for that year.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, I've got a few of these, haven't I?
Yeah.
I think what I should have done is like ask, people on the circuit, beforehand, and find out. But I didn't really know anybody, so it was just a case of like,
right.
I was quite naive and thinking, it says Comic Con, it's a comic festival, all this stuff, and it's like,
well, you do though, don't you?
There.
I mean, I don't. Yeah. It's not until you start these shows that you really get to know the community, and it happens quite quickly that you get to know all these people. But certainly,
unfortunately, in some cases,
I said touch wood. I think we've seen back a lot of those kind of like quick cash grab cons.
Yeah, the life of our show, we've seen them disappear a bit. We talked about this before, didn't we, Deep? Yeah, definitely. So, what were some of the better ones, Joey, that you did? What were the ones that you would recommend? That maybe people aren't, not like the thought bubbles, ones that you did well at, but people don't necessarily immediately think of.
It pretty much is the bigger ones, really. London MCM is always fantastic. It's 3 days.
Are you doing that? You doing that in May or?
Yeah, doing that one. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! We'll see you there.
We're there, my friend. Yeah.
One of the things I've heard from people about getting into the MCM one is to pitch them that you're going to launch something or something big's happening at the event. If you kind of just relatively generic, I just want to appear at the show, you're more unlikely to kind of get in. Now it's being curated. So.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I put on the sort of form, I'm going to be there. Do you think that was the wrong thing to put then?
Yeah, a bit like
maybe not for us.
Oh yeah, I mean, it is the big thing that's going to happen on the weekend, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
You got your trendy sunglasses. Are you going to wear them?
Yeah.
I was just looking at some photos of you in the woods, Vince.
Why? Now I know you're just talking about the fact that I went out for a lovely day at the weekend. And you're looking at my Instagram, but you just can't help but make it sordid, can you?
Yeah, we weren't the one in the woods, you pervert.
Listen, you city boys, you've never seen woods, unless
I don't know what a tree is. I don't know what a tree is.
Creepy stuff going on in the woods. Wendigo wood.
I tell you what, you've missed that kind of smoothness in this show, haven't you? Dan's bringing it back with style.
I read this yesterday and reread it again today. This is great. I really enjoyed this comic. The kind of the depiction of the kind of the. I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it before we get the scalpels out on it?
So, Wendigo Wood is a folk horror comic series. It's basically about a retired war veteran who's searching for his missing daughter. He gets a phone call in the middle of the night one evening, and it's a woman's voice claiming to be his daughter. And he finds all these clues leading to this forest, which is then found out that it's Wendigo Wood. So yeah, that's the basic setup. And if people don't know what a Wendigo is, it's like a half man, half cannibalistic monster based on folklore.
The Hulk used to fight one as well, didn't he? That's where I first came across the name. Yeah, the cover on issue 2, mate, is absolutely outstanding. That's one of my favorites.
I've not seen that one.
It's Chris Sheehan,
really nice.
Really great artist.
Yeah.
It's really great setup. The kind of one of the Wendigos, not sure if there's multiple, is it very much reminded me of that film with Ralph Spall. Do you remember the
Ritual?
Ritual.
Oh, I've not seen that. I want to see that. Yeah, I see that.
It's good.
Yeah,
that's really good. But he kind of got that same kind of feeling of the kind of the woodlands, and it was really well done. Very atmospheric. This is the second one I read. The first one was the Folk Tales of the Cryptid, and you certainly get that kind of folk tale-y kind of.
Jesus Christ, man, that's twisted.
Yeah, that was great.
I remember I got sent it, and I apologize for not reviewing it. I just didn't have time at the time. But I remember John Freeman sent it to me, and he said, this might be up your street. I'm finding it difficult to look at. And not in a way because it looks horrible. It's a very beautifully drawn story, but fuck me, it goes there, doesn't it? That one.
Yeah. You got 6 pages to, create an impact of a story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you've done good.
Yeah.
So you presumably you got a big interest in kind of folklore and. Yeah.
It started off from like a zine submission I did for Fearsome Comics based in Liverpool as well. They're really great guys. They do horror as well, and they're always open for submissions for like a quarterly zine, and they had one open for like a creature feature, and it's like you come up with like a 6-page submission, black and white. And I was just thinking of all these like creatures or monsters that you could do, and something a bit more unusual that you don't really hear of. Yeah. And I was just like doing all these Googles about monsters and folklores, and then came across like cryptozoology, which is basically creatures that exist but can't be proven, kind of thing. And it's like based on this Missouri Sasquatch creature. It's a kind of bit like Bigfoot, but it's quite well known in Missouri. And that was submitted, and then I got like a taste of like making a 6-page short. Then I was like challenged myself to do something beginning, middle, end in 6 pages, which was really fun. And so I did 3 more stories and got them coloured, and then that's how Folk Tales of the Cryptids got formed. And then it was a great success on Kickstarter, because I found out there's a big audience for like people who like folklore and legends and stuff. And
huge! Absolutely,
that's how Wendigo would happen. Really, then it was like, let's
I was
going to say,
was it because you enjoyed writing the tales in folk tales that you thought, maybe I could make a longer form story out of this?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, because I must say, when we talk about the ups and downs of anthologies and stuff, but Folk Tales is certainly one that there's a consistency. Yes, there's different sort of art, but the stories creep you out every time.
Yeah,
they're probably, there's a real nice balance. How do you find writing, because you wrote Ghost Island first, which is a longer form story, isn't it? How did you find going backwards in a way, because some people start with anthologies and then work to a bigger comic? How did you find going from a longer form comic to writing shorter anthology stories?
I think it taught me a lot of discipline going into the anthology, because it's only 6 pages. Ghost Island 1 ended up being 44 pages in its first issue, which is a lot of money for like artist fees and printing fees and things like that, and that's something I didn't learn. But the first issue, it's like 25 pages. We hadn't even got to Ghost Island yet, so I was like, oh god, I have to extend this. And I think first issues are usually overly extended anyway, so it's like 40 pages. So it was a real challenge going into the folk tales. It was just personally, that book was just a challenge to me to do 6-page short stories, to try and hone my storytelling in. And do stories like beginning, middle, and end, and just like that. But it's good. Ghost Island's back to 25 pages now, so I've evolved in that sense, and like being self-taught, some discipline.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, and it's a good idea for people to do that, because I certainly, you think about just writing the full-page script when you the full 24-page comic or whatever, and I have slower pacing, but I've started writing some shorts, and I remember hearing on a podcast someone, I can't remember who said it, they sort of said, you can tell any story, you should be able to tell any story in the world in 4 pages. You should be able to get that across, no matter how quick it may be. But you should be able to get the beginning, middle, and end in 4 pages.
Yeah, it's quite a common thing they say when you pitch in 2000 AD, don't they? That's one of the things they say there.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But it's very tricky to actually try that, and get the balance of it. It is a real... For anyone out there who's... it's a good writing test. And sometimes it's really successful. I've written a couple of 4 pages that I'm going to be working with artists on that I'm really pleased with. And other ones, it's hard to get that balance, isn't it, of the story?
Yeah.
Anyone starting out, I'd just say highly recommend start from a shorter 6-page, 4-page zine submission. Don't try and go all in with a grand idea.
That's why these anthologies are important, I think, Joey.
Yeah,
and I do. They're beginning to disappear a little bit. We're not seeing so many anthologies. When we first started the show, I remember we had the Dirty Rotten Comics guys, and we said that they were the lifeblood of the small indie press, weren't they?
Yeah.
And you had quite a lot, but a lot of them are gone now. I mean, Reeds by Avery Hill and Dirty Rotten Comics is gone, the Dead Singers, that's finished now. Yeah. I think we're left pretty much with the 2000 AD ones, really.
And there's certain stories that certainly people might not they might miss out on. For instance, things like 100% biodegradable constantly happens. I can't see
right, yeah, that's true.
That's
on
Comic House as well, isn't it? Yeah, that's always
Yeah.
there, but people might overlook it. They might, which is a shame, because there's probably.
Would you say that with the advent of Kickstarter, rather than someone saying, right, I'm going to do a 4-page comic and put this into anthology and see how it goes, you can kind of like pitch an idea on a Kickstarter, do your 20, 30, 40-page comic, and then it gets made when it reaches the total. See what I mean? Like, so you don't have to go through those kind of training wheel steps if you want. And I mean, to be fair, I've backed Kickstarters that have sounded great and looked great, and when the products turned up, I was like, oh god, they really needed to.
Yeah.
There's not much here really, and yeah, because like they say, if you can tell your story in 4 pages, you've got that down, that the whole story, beginning, middle, and end. But when you kind of like 30 pages, you can kind of lose your way a bit.
Yeah.
You can, but especially people who start off with even more than that. They think, I'm going to do a graphic novel around this, and it just becomes a rambling mess. And
certainly with like short horror stories as well, they have to have the sting in the tail. There's always that, they've always got to have that sort of like punctuation at the end, which doesn't have to have it. The great thing about horror, it doesn't have to have some epic sort of like here is the murder happening in front of you. A lot of these ones, and certainly in folk tales, it ends just seeing a monster behind a person. And
the horror's ideal because you can end on a downer, you can end on an upper, you can end on a cliffhanger, and it doesn't necessarily have to go to another one. A superhero story, for example, is much more difficult to tell as a 4-parter. It almost has to be something else. It almost has to be a horror, or it has to be an autobiographical, doesn't it? In order
a bit
to
of
do
a
that.
mashup of a genre, like a crime and superhero and something else. One thing I kind of like equate to, I don't like kind of putting films to comics, but a lot of horror films have like a really strong concept, but they've got like half an hour of storytelling, and the rest of it is just padding crap
running around.
So you feel like you could kind of like do 3 films in. There's that one where the girl disappears when you turn on and off the light, and that's a creepy little kind of image, but then they tried to kind of pad it out to an 1.5-hour film. It's just like you kind of got nothing here. But that's why I like kind of like the short sort of hits, and especially with the anthology here is great for that. That first one is so bloody creepy.
It is.
There's a baby, right?
There's a kind of young lady with kind of kid up in the cot, and the baby monitor's going off, and she goes up there, and it's not going well.
It's not going well.
It reminded me of how on TV we used to take chances with horror as well. Even just stuff like, do you remember when the sort of Robert Holmes Doctor Who period? You got the Talons of Weng Chiang, and you got Pyramids of Mars, and that's fucking frightened the fuck out of me. Seeds of Doom, when the geezer gets turned into a plant. I still remember seeing that. I
mean, people may laugh about it now, but the Sylvester McCoy, Bertie Bassett.
That
is frightening.
It's horrible.
Ghostlight, the one he did Ghostlight, that was fucked up, man.
I would say really a lot of Doctor Who and the original Star Trek series, most of it is space horror. They go somewhere and there's some fucking horrible messed up thing happening, and they've got to kind of work it out or get the hell out of there. But
I mean, I think that's an interesting sort of segue as well, because I noticed, Joey, you haven't really stepped into space horror, which, to be honest, a lot of people is their go-to in comics, certainly with the Alien and Aliens and all of these kind of things. But your stuff is, dare I say it, it's all very grounded in some kind of way. You're doing folk sort of tales. You're doing, Ghost Island is, like Jurassic Park meets The Shining. And you got Stay Awake, which is the new one, which I've just had a look at today, actually, just from the Kickstarter. That looks brilliant, and that's dealing with sort of sleep, night terrors and things like that, isn't it? Tell us a bit more about that, because what I find fascinating is you don't go to like the space and the sci-fi. Yours is very real worldy sort of stuff. So I mean, Stay Awake is an interesting one to do as a comic as well. So tell us a bit about that one.
So originally it started off as a horror stage play that I wrote for theatre. I was really interested in trying to put like a horror play on. I'd seen The Woman in Black, I'd seen Ghost Stories in London, and it really inspired me to write like a stage play of my own. I was going to put it on.
Why is there not more horror theatre? I was talking with a friend about this the other day. I would have thought horror theatre would be amazing.
You got Jersey Boys.
I went to see the Women in Black stage show, and that's genuinely creepy.
That's great.
That's really well done.
Yeah, really good.
They do it. I mean, in London, it's like the permanent. Woman in Black is the permanent residence. Ghost Stories has come back now. They did have Let the Right One In London at one point as well.
Oh, nice one. Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
They've got what else?
They've got one. They're doing a stage show of Night of the Living Dead, which I've been eyeing up tickets.
Oh, sweet.
What is that in the UK? Because I always think that would be an amazing.
Yes, in London. I can't remember the dates, but it's coming up.
Oh, brilliant! I might have to check that out.
Yeah,
they do stuff at like the the London Dungeon. They do like little plays there as well. I've been to a couple of things there where you walk around and the actors are all around you. They're quite cool. I quite like that sort of thing. Yeah.
So what inspires me is just like the whole immersive experience of it. How anything can happen and you're just sitting there. But it started off from that, and it was a script that I had just laying around, and I revisited it and thought, well, let's try and adapt this into a comic. So basically the setup is a psychologist is forced to revisit 3 haunting cases of his former patients who have all experienced sleep disorders in one way or another. One's like sleep paralysis, one's like night terrors, and each issue goes into each experience of that and flashes back to the psychologist speaking to the patient. This is all also going back to the present time where he's being investigated by a detective, because all of the patients have died under suspicious circumstances. So you get to that at the end of each issue, and then it's just a 4-issue limited series as well.
Okay.
Wow, I mean that's immediately you've got your perfect sort of horror setup, which is I think you have in all your different stories. Actually, there's the brilliant, you should be able to. With a horror story, you should be able to sell someone on just right. Here's a psychologist going back to 3 haunting cases about night terrors or something like that, and then you can tell immediately, oh, that's something I want to check out. Yeah. But going from that to then getting artists and stuff, what was that path like?
For finding an artist for each story, kind of thing.
Yeah. Is it a different artist for each issue then?
So as I've gone on a bit more, I've started using like an artist that I'm familiar with or like the style of.
Yeah.
So Folktales of the Cryptids was another big thing in like audition process for artists to see how their styles work and see what they're like working with as well. Because Folktales of the Cryptids, they had over like 12 different artists involved. So you had a different artist for each story, also a different colorist for each story as well.
Oh, right.
Different cover artist. So there's so many people involved and so many plates being juggled, deadlines and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm doing an anthology at the moment, and literally I've got 2 post-it notes, so I remember who's drawing each story. Because even that I can't remember. Yeah.
But it's kind of it's been quite easy really finding artists with like the styles that I like, because I just post in either a Facebook group. Facebook's really been the big fan of artists that I like. I'll give a shout out to Connecting Facebook Comic Artists and Writers. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I've recently just joined that one. It's great.
Oh yeah. So I put like a small little pitch of what it's about, genre, and then I'll post some reference pictures of the kind of style that I'm trying to get at, and then people, not everyone, but message you their portfolios and their styles, and hopefully quite similar to what you're looking for. But it's been quite easy in finding what you're looking for.
How do you find the negotiating the payment thing? Is that do they come to you with an amount, or do you have to offer them, or are you getting more into that, so more able to do it with them?
So what happens is I pay whatever page rate the artist says. I won't bang them down or knock it down or anything like that. If that's your page rate that you want to charge, then that's I respect that, and that's totally fine. And so I'll if the style's good, I'll pay it, and basically every page they finish, I pay a pay by page kind of thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad way of doing it. I think. Yeah.
We're signing a collab agreement, and that's the rights of mine kind of thing, and we pay the page rate.
So it's a work for hire thing. I think it's important that you make that clear sometimes. I think,
An incentivization for artists to keep chugging along. Like if you give them the whole amount up front, it just kind of.
No, I wouldn't do that for a new artist.
No.
It's just too risky. You see so many horror stories. It's just it's not good for either party, really, is it?
I've said that to people I've worked with, that don't give me the whole amount up front, because I've got I'll do the work, but when I'm doing page by page or like every 3 or 4 pages, I've got real incentive to kind of get my foot down and get it done.
But from a writer's perspective, I mean, some artists, like when they're working on pages, they'll show you like sketches, they'll show you page layouts, and you can see that they're obviously doing a lot of work. But you still sort of say, do you ever have that sort of like, you're doing a lot of work on this, I kind of want to give you some money for it, but do you know what I mean? At the same time,
I think you've got to stick to the page rate, haven't you? I know what you're saying there, dude. I think exactly. Yeah. So it's going back a little bit to what Pat said when he was on the show, is we don't get any paid in comics or research, do we? Exactly, and it's kind of like the preparation, the character, what they're going to be like is almost part of that, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I think perhaps we should do, but it's just not something.
It's the same way, like you thumb out a comic if I'm doing it for someone before I've even begun drawing it, and there's a bit of change in there. But I can't do those comic pages without those thumbs. But they're unpaid. It's just kind of part of the project.
Yeah. I think you're right about the finished project. Sometimes you get an artist who's a bit slow, and if you're paying an artist a certain amount, sometimes it's not always within your ability to pay. So, for example, they're going to get all 20 pages done in the last week. You might not be able to pay them all 20 pages in that one go. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it does take some sort of spacing out, I think.
Yeah. There's a deadline. Deadline in the collab agreement for the artist. And before they sign and say, can you make this deadline? And they'll say, I'll sign it, or I need to add a bit extra time. Just be honest with me, and if you can do it in that time, then
definitely
fine. It's just see what ballpark we're in, so we can work together on it.
Yeah. I think you're right, man. Yeah, completely. I think what I've just done as well, I don't know if this is anything anyone would agree or they've done before, is I'm doing a sort of anthology, and what I've done is create a Twitter group so that everyone knows where everyone is in their stories.
Yeah.
And everyone's sort of updating each other about page size and what you're doing around lettering size, and you just to be fair, I thought that helped a bit.
Yeah. There's also that sense of like,
people up a little bit.
Yeah. It's sort of not a kick up the bum, but or like it's not like everyone's competitive. But when you're seeing other people's work, you're like, right, I'm going to step up my game on this next thing I'm going to do. Do you know what I mean? Is that that friendly competition?
Yeah, and there's a little bit of the community to that as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
You don't want to be that person letting the team down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to get bullied online, there's a couple of Facebook groups I can send you to. But
yeah. I mean, I must say, Joey, like even though you started fairly recently, you've churned out quite an
you put a lot out, man.
Yeah, that's good.
You've put a lot of books out, which is very impressive. I mean, there are some people, and this is me. Part of this, I'm basically saying, just trying to get the 4th issue of their series done, and like you've got several different titles on the go. Are they all mini series, or do you have like is one of them like an ongoing, shall we say?
So Ghost Island was originally hoping to be, when I was quite naive, it was going to be ongoing. It's going to be issue 10, like issue 20. All these grand ideas, kind of like this big world. But obviously you've got to be realistic with those kind of things. So it turned into a 6-issue comic. That's 5 issues now.
Right.
No, sorry, 6. Yeah, but it was originally, when it was 40 pages. We had to cut that down because it was just too much money to raise and each Kickstart, all the page fees. So we extended it to 6, and then we're back to like 25 pages now.
Yeah.
But When They Go Wood, that's 4 issues, and Stay Awake's 4 issues. I'm just trying to do series that are just 4 issues now, so it's not too much of a buy-in for somebody who's like, issue 4 is coming out and they got to buy the previous 3. You can have you can buy a trade in that point, or it's just because it is indie. Some people don't know when the next issue is going to come out, and and like that. So I'm doing it at a rate now that we can probably get a series finished in just over a year. So I'm happy with that. I don't want to keep dragging people along too much. Who are invested in the series and who's interested. It's like kind of thing.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, you are testing your different sort of writing muscles as well with the different sort of stories. Are there going to be more anthologies like Folk Tales in the future, do you think? Did you enjoy that so much that you're like, I'm going to do this again, I think?
Yeah, definitely. I've been thinking about it. Just trying to focus on finishing Wendigo Wood now, so I don't want to start any new series now until I've boxed off that Ghost Island will be finished this year. Yeah. Wendigo Wood will be finished this year.
Because you've got a Kickstarter for Ghost Island coming later in April, haven't you?
Yeah, April 30th, that one.
Yeah, and the cover looks amazing. I saw you also did like the countdown to the cover reveal, which I quite like. You really are. You're keeping the momentum with the stories, aren't you? For the people that are following these stories, you're keeping people engaged.
Yeah,
that latest cover looks badass, man.
I think it's wise to avoid April as well, because we're seeing so many Kickstarters dropping in April at the moment. I think to head towards the end of April makes sense actually as well, dude. Yeah. I mean,
the only reason I'm not doing it earlier in April because I'm fulfilling Stay Awake's Kickstarter at the moment.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I've just boxed another 50 off today, and I only do that. I only fulfill a Kickstarter rewards ahead of starting the next Kickstarter. If you know what I mean.
Good idea. Yeah. Otherwise, people get the hump, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Are you a long-term comic fan? Are you?
No, pretty much 3 years ago when I first started making comics was the first time I started reading comics. Really?
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Are you a horror novel fan as well? Then are you? Or?
Well, I started off with Walking Dead. That's what really got me inspired into making comics. That grounded way of storytelling. I know it's zombies, but it's still like in a grounded world.
Yeah.
Definitely. Of course. Yeah.
So, just things like that. Outcast as well.
Did that come from the TV series to go to the comic, or
Walking Dead?
Yeah. What made you think I want to go for a comic?
I just had friends recommending it actually, who weren't really into comics either. But they're like, "Oh, you should check out The Walking Dead."
Yeah. No matter what people think about The Walking Dead or what it's become, or whether you like the people will probably just immediately think of the TV series now rather than the comic. Look, no matter what your opinion on it, that series, that comic book series, has done important work for comics, because so many people. Whereas there's us who, there's some of us who got into comics in the 90s. There's some of us who got into comics in the 70s or whatever. There's people that are in comics now
50s.
Or the 20s, if you Tony.
Or the hieroglyphs.
Yeah, I saw one of those moving picture movies.
All right, I started that joke. Went out of control there.
Yeah. But The Walking Dead, we are now at that point where there's a wave of people who are in comics now and making great comics because of that series. And
it's the one you can give to people and they can go. Yeah. If they don't know anything about comics, you give them The Walking Dead trades, don't you?
I mean, and there's a reason that it was. I collected that series for a very long time because it's bloody well made.
And it's consistent. I think with the Adlard run, it's everyone is consistent. It's slightly decompressed, isn't it? But you get used to the pacing of it. Yeah. I think there's another trade come out this week. I don't know what number trade they're up to. It's got to be fucking 30 or something, hasn't it?
Yeah. Don't know. Is that just going to be they do that till the ratings drop or whatever it is, or just
presumably?
I think Kirkman's got an end for that.
Yeah. Well, Kirkman. I mean, obviously he's big business now, but one of the things I do like about him, he genuinely loves comics.
Yeah,
I think even though
that really came through on that Image documentary, I didn't really see that coming, and I thought, of course, Kirkman.
Yeah,
and then all the stuff he's done, and he kind of brought the group back together. In a way.
Have you branched off into anything else? Have you tried the Hellboy universe, for example, or anything like that? Swamp Thing, or
it's just finding them really. I went into after Folk Tales of the Cryptids. People kept saying to me, "Oh, this reminded me of Tales of the Crypt." I was like, "Oh, what?" I honestly hadn't heard of Tales of the Crypt. I was like, "Oh God!" And then got into all that, the series, and then the comics, and loved them as well. Just like
creepy and eerie and that sort of thing. Yeah. If you can pick up some sort of House of Secrets or House of Mystery or something like that, they're great comics as well.
Yeah,
they're like I always describe, because you can get they do the showcases, the black and white. If you can find a sort of cheap one of it, and it's like picking up a big phone directory full of the Outer Limits or the Twilight Zone stories, fast, twisting the tail stories, and they're so written by some of the greats, Gil Kane and all these sort of people were drawing them. Some brilliant stuff in there.
I mean, and also, even though you're like, oh, I've only got into comics the past couple of years, there's part of me that's quite jealous because now you're discovering everything, for the first time. That's just the best. What's some of the stuff that you've liked? Obviously, as soon as you get into the convention scene and you discover this community and stuff, You discover some great books. What have been some of the highlights in terms of like meeting creators and discovering new work and stuff for you?
Well, in 2016, and about April it was for Edinburgh Comic Festival when I was first started getting into comics, and coming up with idea for Ghost Island. I went up to Edinburgh on my own to check out the festival, and went to the comics village, and booked up the courage to like go up to a table and start trying to speak to some creators, try and get some advice and things like that. And I met Dave Cook for the first time.
Nice! He's a dude.
He was just so kind and really, really great to talk to, and like it's been an inspiration to me ever since, really, of what he's done and what
he's a millionaire now, isn't he? I think.
Right. Living the life.
He's a millionaire. Yeah.
And I was that guy that was like, oh yeah, I'm making a comic myself, like that. And then.
But actually, to give you credit, dude, you said it. And now you've got
and you've done
comics.
it, yeah. Unlike a lot of people, and like most people, we meet at conventions. Oh, I'm thinking about making a comic. Yeah, right, mate. Move on. Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice because like the following year, I managed to get in at Edinburgh Comic Festival, and I was there with Ghost Island issue 1. And then
nice.
Went over to Dave. Was like, yeah, I've got to say what it's. You know, remember me?
What did Dave do? Did he go? Who are you? Did he say
that? He probably pretended to know who it was. Yeah. But I've been there ever since, and it's just been such a great convention. It's really nice to like go back and see where it started.
I've literally just booked my hotel today, so I'm looking forward to going to that. I've not been to that one before, and I really like Edinburgh as a city. It's there's a real creative buzz to the place in there. Yeah.
There is. Yeah, there's a massive comic scene up there. Like loads of really passionate people about comics. It's just great.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, that's gonna be quality. So,
anyone else you can think of that you've met? Any other comics that have sort of sparked you? You've picked up at conventions and stuff like that.
Blue Fox Comics are always good. Sam Beck's his stuff, like the rate he put out his comics as well. It's been an inspiration to me. It's like I need to like do some more as well. Lyndon White's.
Lovely.
Artwork's brilliant.
Well, Ian Ashcroft couldn't have lived far from you.
Yeah, I actually met him. I know the last Thought Bubble. Yeah, I've worked with him on some pin-ups for Ghost Island. Some Ghost characters, some concepts.
Yeah, he's a good egg. Yeah, top bloke. Yeah,
nice. Like back to Kickstarters. Obviously, you've done a fair few Kickstarters now. What everyone seems to think that I'll go straight to Kickstarter, fund my book. What are some of the sort of just basic tips you would give someone? Because you run a nice, tight, simple, effective Kickstarter that just gets all your books funded, doesn't it? Really? You've had them all funded through Kickstarter, haven't you?
Yeah, everyone's been on Kickstarter now. Yeah.
Oh, nice one, mate. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll be my Ghost Island. The next one will be the 10th Kickstarter.
Fucking hell! do you, when you're not doing a Kickstarter, do you just sort of self-harm just to keep up the adrenaline? Or?
I'm fulfilling all the Kickstarter books. Sending them out.
Yeah. I mean, you've had learnings in terms of like creating these books and getting in touch with creators. But what's been the learnings from obviously the first Kickstarter to the 10th?
First Kickstarter, learning to find the audience and find the audience to read the book. The first Kickstarter I ever did was Ghost Island 1, and it started off it finished with 66 backers, with funding of like £600, and little did I know. Well, I think if you're going to do the first Kickstarter, the best thing to do is try and front up as much as the art cost as possible, and have the cost of the print run fund for the Kickstarter, just to have that audience for the first issue, fulfill it, and then the second one you can ask for a bit more money and like gradually increase it each time. Because like the first one I just lost so much money on, like I'd never done my calculations for international postage or print, and because it was like a perfect bound book as well, because it's 44 pages, it was heavy, and it was all these things you didn't really think about.
How do you find the percentage of no, I don't want exact figures, but from a point of view of you do a Kickstarter, you sell, so many people pledge, how do you find that compares to the amount that you then sell at conventions? do you sell a lot more at conventions, or do you find it's just a few compared to how many people pledge, or do you know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah. As in, like, sell more at a convention than a Kickstarter.
Yeah, because you then obviously you have more printed, don't you? So you take them to conventions. Do you find that you sell a lot more at conventions compared to people who would pledge, or?
It's kind of a good balance because a lot of my audience is in America now.
Okay,
it's like 65% is in America because of like all that folklore is quite very American.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Right, yeah.
So. Yeah, but there's a big audience for it in the UK circuit as well. So what really happens is if I'm at a comic convention, if somebody buys a book, I'll ask if they'll want to sign up to the newsletter, which will keep them up to date with Kickstarters or behind the scenes stuff. And then it's like that organic building up with your audience that way. And, they're people you've met and have communicated with. And so that's doing those 29 conventions as hard as they were. Some of them didn't really plan out. It was actually probably quite important, showing your face and turning up, and help those people then help you and support you on your next Kickstarter then, which has pretty much been the foundations of, I think, like the success of most of my Kickstarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the American audience, do you find are most of them just digital, or mainly print?
But mainly print. What I try to do is try and like have a quite low shipping cost. I try and get it down to like £5 to ship, to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And try and add that on to like the goal of the Kickstarter, to compensate for that like little bit of loss that you'd make on the postage by not onto the goal. So that helps people buy in, to the comic from abroad, which is important because if you can get your comics into America and people passing it along and telling more people about it, then
there was a post that someone was saying about like the people who do the add $5 and you've got our thanks, or you put your name in the book or something, which I really I can't stress how people do not people do not like that. I would reconsider doing that if you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
If you've got the first tier is nothing, you don't get a book, you don't get your name in it, you don't get anything like that, and it's just a thank you. You got to reconsider the way you're making your Kickstarter look, I think, haven't you? If that's the first, because I basically scroll through. I don't like that. Don't want that one. Don't want that one. I want that one. I'll pledge on it. I rarely scan the whole thing and go backwards and forwards. And if the first one is £1, you don't get anything for that. That does stop me in my tracks, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that's that Ryan K. Lindsay's thing. That first thing you come to. It's like it matters so much, and just to do so, like put £2 and you got our eternal thanks. So, oh fuck's sake, really big time.
Yeah. Unless it's us, obviously, then everyone,
just like that's just like e-begging. It's really don't like it.
It's like that buy me a coffee thing that people do.
Yeah. Well, I'll come here to buy a comic, and you're asking me just for a couple of quid for no reason. It kind of puts me up a little.
I think Kickstarter, it's just keep it simple, the rewards as well. I used to do t-shirts. I had a red cap at the beginning, like a bunch of red caps that said "Make Horror Great Again."
I thought I was going to say, make Afterlight great again? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
But then, I had them on the table at True Believers in my first year, and the kid was like, "Oh, look at that!" And then this woman was shaking her head, I think she thought it was like an American one. She didn't have her glasses on. These are coming off the table, Lee. I'm not doing these again.
Yeah. Left wingers need a sense of humour. We often say that.
I saw one was make Jungle massive again. One of those red.
Jungle massive.
Honestly, I can just see you in the 90s saying Jungle massive to your mates.
I couldn't wear that though without the risk of being chinned just by some stranger. So I would be concerned for the message and the red cap.
It has to be a brave stranger to mess with you, Dan. Oof.
Yeah.
So, what is your future goal then? I mean, obviously for the rest of this year, I'm guessing Ghost Island and Wendigo Wood. How many?
What do you mean? He's been on the show. What do you mean?
No, for the rest. You know what I mean?
Okay, right, fair enough. Yeah.
I don't need to explain myself.
This high point.
Oh god, it's getting to that time of the evening. No, for the rest of the year. Obviously, you're going to be concentrating on finishing Ghost Island and Wendigo Wood.
Yeah.
Are there any ideas in your brain bubbling away for next year or something like
that? So like at the beginning of 2018, I had like the 2018 and 2019 completely slated out for comics,
right?
Kickstarters and all that. So okay. That's coming to the end of this year, and then next year will probably be like the year of like trade backs, like Ghost Island, Wendigo Wood, and then Stay Awake. But for myself personally, it's just like learning to get better and like improve my skills. Because on Stay Awake, I actually learned to do the colours.
Oh, nice
one, as well.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I learned that from a previous guest you'd had on, Michael K. Russell. I did.
Oh yeah, good.
Course.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a good guy.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
and you do the lettering as well, don't you?
I do the lettering now. Yeah.
It all kind of helps save money and gets the project done quicker.
It does.
Doesn't it? I enjoy doing it as well.
Yeah. I would recommend the letterers. I would recommend writers kind of get at least an understanding of lettering, but if they can do their own, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And learn how to put a book together. That's the thing I'm trying to work on at the moment. Is learn how to actually format a book. You know, that's the fucking mystery to me. I don't really understand the Devil's Window. You know what I mean? But it's sort of you got to get a grip of that, because then it so helps with the creative process as well, doesn't it? You know, sizes of pages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was half expecting you, Joe, to say like after this year I've done comics and moving into like equestrianism, and then 3 years of like just that conquering it and then moving on to something else.
Yeah, and
never completed it. Right?
Yeah.
Nature photography.
Looking at your website, you know, when you see the range of titles on there, you know, I think you're smashing it, dude. I think really, you know, considering that you come on, you can't really say a late bloomer, because like now look at you, you're putting out so many titles, whether it be the digital or the physical. You're mastering Kickstarter. You know, I know you're quite a humble person, so just accept these comments I'm giving you now.
He'll give you a hug when he sees you.
Yeah, I'll hug anyone. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But
the
also,
judge warned you about that.
And my wife.
Yeah. I'm going to hug you senseless, Dan. You know it. And you'll love it.
You used a different word to hug, but go on.
But obviously, you know, everything's been a learning for you. You take it as a learning, don't you? I mean, like you say, you're going to do these trades for all the comic series, but that obviously you must be already making notes of, you know, postage and stuff for Kickstarters. Have you already sort of started planning that? Because that's going to be quite different, isn't it, to post out a trade than a single issue?
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot of work. For the trade, it's be a perfect bound. But I'm used to like with perfect bounds because the Ghost Island started out as that.
Right.
But it should work out. Okay, Ghost Island's like going to be 180 pages, which would probably be quite.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good.
Postage.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a hell of
good. As I say, I'm just trying to do like shorter series now and like limit that from a learning process as well. Haven't done that. There's just going to be 100-page trades after that. Wendigo Wood and Stay Away. I'm just trying to bottle up ideas at the moment, because obviously I've got 3 series and then a one-shot going on. You kind of get carried away, as you can see. It's going to be 5 more Kickstarters this year, so it's just trying to balance it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, passionate about it.
You've got to love it, and it clearly shows in the product as well, dude. So,
great.
So what conventions have you got over the next sort of couple of months? I'm guessing you're not doing another 25 by the end of the year.
No, minus 25.
What have you cut that down to now then? What is the number now?
So, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to say it's probably like 8 or 9 now.
Okay,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'm doing Edinburgh Comic Con next weekend.
Was there an Ellesmere Port one recently or something like that? Was there?
There was, yeah. Civic Hall, yeah. I was away for that, so I'm not sure how that went.
Yeah. Okay.
But and then there's Manchester MCM. Hoping to get into that when that opens. London, both of them.
Okay.
Still waiting to hear back from Thought Bubble.
Yeah.
And I think
I put my hotel for that as well, so hopefully we'll get in.
So have I. Yeah. And then Birmingham MCM. That's about it now. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and he's going to have plenty of awesome comics, especially if you like horror comics, because this is the sort of horror that I really like reading in comics. Actually.
Yeah.
Really, me too. Yeah, definitely.
Really
I like the fact you take chances and you go somewhere, man.
Yeah.
I hate safe horror.
Yeah.
I hate repetitive safe horror. I really dislike it.
That's the place to go for it. Is horror.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about something new, original, that simple idea that can be told well. Good production style and with maybe a bit of a twist in it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what you'd like is some of the early 2000 AD Future Shocks. I think they've started collecting them now.
Yeah,
and they're great twist in the tail stories, and they're written by people like Moore, Grant Morrison, all these sort of Pat Mills. They're all like really good writers have written them. There's some really great stuff in there.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say as well, we've got submissions open on the Afterlight Comics website. It's always open all year, so if anybody would like to submit anything publish through us, then that's always open.
Yeah.
All right. And that would be from a sort of horror point of view, would it? Would it be mainly looking at horror stories?
Oh, yeah. Only horror, because it works out for the benefit of the create. If we've got hopefully building up a horror audience now, that sort of work, and if you've got horror, then I'm sure they'll eat it up.
Yeah.
I've got a story about Beetroot. You might
No, that's just horrific, Tony. It's not a horror story.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Have you done any sort of straight up horror conventions yet with the books?
I did Liverpool Horror Con. That went
and what's
terribly.
That like?
It's terrible. It was not like because of what I had, or it was just like terrible for everybody. It was just really badly run. The guys ran off now with a lot of people's money that had tickets booked for London HorrorCon.
Oh wow! Okay,
right. I lost £100 from that as well.
Oh god!
I thought those days are behind us, but obviously not.
Yeah,
we've seen a few things like that, haven't we? Yeah.
But the HorrorCons, there's one in Sheffield, I think it's supposed to be really good, and one in Bristol.
Yeah, I've been to the Bristol one. That's good. That is good. So.
But yeah, it's not. I don't think it's not better nor worse. It's like a Comic-Con, there's people there for everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
With horror, it's people there for everything, not just comics. So
yeah, I get you. Yeah. Okay.
So definitely, folks, check out Joey's catalogue because it's great stuff. Highly recommended. We love it. I mean, we've talked about the books on the show even before Joey came on, so we wanted to talk to him for a while now. And and like I say, if you're an artist or whatever out there, just get in touch with him, submit to it. So there you go. And and he's sticking around for the rest of the show because God bless him, God help him. But before that, do we have any shout outs, gents?
Yeah, I've got a load. Shall I go?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a few Kickstarters coming, got to tell you. First off, from our pals, ex-guests, John Late and Matt Strott, Late Nights 2. I loved the first issue of this, and the second issue, from what we've seen, is looking fucking outstanding. And that hits Kickstarter. I think it's hitting it today as you hear this, I think.
It shall be live now, I think, Yeah.
Another project that I'll be back in is excuse me for the accent, the Lang Walk Hame, which is about Peter Watson needing a piss and walking out the long walk home whilst needing a wee, which hits Kickstarter today as well. He sent me the ash can of it, and it's fucking brilliant. It's just made me laugh so much. Obviously, we know Pete from his exposing himself on our Facebook page that time.
Oh, excellent! Yeah.
Do you remember when he did the stand pose for us, didn't he?
I've got that saved to the old thing
for the bank.
Hard drive.
Slang Pictorial Forts still on Kickstarter, still storming it. Yeah. Nicky Boy Prolix has killed it with that. He's about 350%, I think, last time I looked.
Nice.
What's the other one? So the guys who did March of the Robots. Have you been following the guys who've been doing this? So the main three I've been following is Andy Hanks, who's just done a robot a day, and he looks brilliant. So great. Good. Yeah. Really good. Our pal Stuart Moraine, he's done like a comic strip every day. He's done like there's some work going on with that project. And Charles Raymond's done some great little robots that are making me chuckle every day, so that's been really good. Big shout out to Alan Henderson, who sent Don't Judge Me, Penned Gwyn Treasury Edition. I got that through in the post, got a bit early because I got a pull quote on it, obviously. Shout out to Adam Falp, who sent me Living in Sin, which I shall start reading today, actually, after we finish recording. It looks very interesting about a guy guarding hell. Yeah, really nice idea.
Nice one.
I think me, him, and Tom McCurry are going to have a bit of a sort of Jack Kirby loving at an event soon. And also thanks to Johnny Cannon and an anonymous listener who we don't know who it is, who sent us some artwork the other day. So Johnny, brilliant past guest. I've literally just been speaking to him on Twitter, and hopefully going to see him. We'll probably see him next weekend, Joey, actually. At Edinburgh. He sent us some artwork. It's just a little thank you for coming on the show, which people do not have to do. I'd like to say that. It's just really nice of him. And the anonymous listener paid for some artwork. So we got 2 bits of artwork through. So he was not allowed to tell us who it was. So we don't know who you are, but
thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, that's like really amazing. Really good.
Yeah, I had that turn up and the Spanish Masters book on the same day. It was like Christmas.
Sweetness.
Came early.
Yeah, really good. I think that's it for me. You're gonna do the 200th. So
in a second. Before I do, I just want to give a big shout out to Gary from Comics Anonymous. Who was obviously at Dunfermline, and it sounds like Dunfermline was a cracking.
It does. I fancy that next year now. Yeah. I was tempted just to jump in the car this year, but it looks really good.
Gary from Comics Anonymous. He dropped by and picked up the Ian Kennedy art book for me.
Oh, nice!
And got him to sign it because that looks. Apparently, it's like oversized as well, sort of book, and like that's glorious. If you don't know Ian Kennedy's work, just look at some of it because it's amazing.
Oh, so good,
good, so good. I cannot. I discovered. I've forgotten who's putting this book out actually.
Is it it's the people who do all the British stuff, isn't it? The ones you talked about before, isn't it? Who did?
I swear it's like a gallery sort of people or so. I've forgotten what it is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it looks
I need to get a copy myself. It
looks like a glorious book that maybe not enough people know about. So we'll probably talk about it when it arrives. I'll probably just talk about how amazing it is. So stay tuned for that. So thanks, Gary. And also,
speaking of Scotland, just if anyone didn't hear earlier, I'm going to be at Edinburgh on Saturday, so if you're at Edinburgh, come and say hi.
Stay away from him.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Unless you're a bit of a James Hunt, then stay away from me because I've got a low tolerance for idiots.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Tom from That Comic Smell for repping our T-shirt.
Yeah.
And
the only reason he wore it is because he put a quick thing out, didn't he? Like vote for which T-shirt. And obviously, the 3 of us straight away voted. Yeah. For our own T-shirt.
Russian bot network.
Which is a robot network, not bottoms.
Yeah,
so thank you very much for that. And glad that everyone had a great time at Dunfermline. Want to hear more about that show in the future. And yes, we are recording episode 200. It is approaching. It is only a few weeks away.
Yeah.
And we have a venue.
Very excited.
Yep, and we have a date. May the 4th. Don't start your Star Wars jokes. It's just it's just May the 4th, which is also Free Comic Book Day. I've been informed.
Yeah.
If you're going,
we are a short walk from the comic shops in London, so short walk from Orbital and Gosh, leaving Forbidden Planet. If you want to go there.
Yeah. What's that thing where everyone just load of people mob into a shop, just take stuff and then f off? I mean,
I know.
We have to see if we've got the numbers for that.
Yeah.
If there's enough people, we will be planning crimes as part of the 200th.
But
do come along.
The plan is thus: we are rocking up in London at the Two Chairmen. Isn't that right, Tony?
Yeah, it's the Two Chairmen. It's 39 Dartmouth Street, Westminster. The nearest tube is either Westminster or St James's Park. It's like a 1-minute walk from St James's Park, and we are upstairs. It's a right old school pub. And we're upstairs in the bar. That you can buy your drinks upstairs, and you can order food and everything. They were going to allow a bit of food, I reckon. But really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're literally just going to rock up there with some recording equipment. It's going to be a Three Amigos show with, we'll get...
Might invite the odd guest up, might we?
Yeah, whoever turns up on the day, we'll probably, we'll get you to ask some questions.
We'll in the show.
Involved a bit. It's just going to be a good laugh.
And there may be some collector's edition items.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to have to give away. There's going to be a charity auction type stuff going on as well, I think, if
you go to our Facebook group, Richard Chief's organising, just sort of collecting up, if anyone's got any spare books or a little bit of artwork or something like that, we're going to auction it off for Little Heroes, or raffle it off, maybe.
There is literally, there's no reserving of tickets. There's nothing like this. We're just rocking up, going to have a laugh, and we'd like you to join us if you can on the day.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah,
we're going to be there from 12 till 5, aren't we, gents?
Yeah.
I believe. And we're going to record. We're basically going to start the recording, probably around 2:30 for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Are we going to say, yes, this episode of the Awesome Comics Podcast was recorded in front of a live studio audience? The only reason I say that is because I've been watching a lot of Cheers recently.
What?
Yeah, it's on in the morning when I'm having my Weetabix. Anyway, that's another.
Okay.
We need to stay awesome at the end so we can cut that into every show.
Yeah, we want.
Yeah, we need everyone to say it, don't we?
Yeah.
Apart from me, I'm not saying it.
Yeah. We want the people downstairs to think, what on earth is going on up there?
What are those wankers doing up there?
Yeah. But it's going to be a laugh. So, yeah, May the 4th. We'd love to see you there. We're going to keep shouting about it for the next couple of weeks. So, yeah.
And there's a few people already booking their train and bus tickets and stuff like that. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, really pleased.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fucking chuckle. I'll tell you now, that's what it'll be.
Yeah, it's just going to be a group of people just talking comics and having fun. And then there's going to be a show recording in between. So, who knows how that will go.
If we remember.
Yeah. So go get your free comic books and then come and join us and talk about comics for the day.
Yeah.
We'd love to see you there.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have some. Nobrow will be donating some books, so there'll be a little raffle. You might get yourself like a 20 quid book for a 50p raffle ticket or something. So there's a bit of that. And I bought some raffle tickets because they arrived from Amazon today.
Amazing. And if you can't make it, our lovely people from another country, other countries in the world, or perhaps you just can't make it on the day, or you're not well, or anything like that.
Don't like us.
We still want you involved. So it's going to be, because it's just going to be the three of us, and God knows what else will happen. It will probably be like an Ask the Awesome Pod anything kind of show. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask us, email us awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. I will hold on to them, not tell the other guys what they are, and then I'll drop them on the day.
Okay.
And see what they're like. So yes.
Nice.
So email us awesomecomicspod@gmail.com with the headline episode 200 question. So there you go. So there's that one.
Sweet.
Yeah. A lot of shout outs. We do a lot of shouting, but it's always worth it.
There's a lot going on in comics small press at the moment. There's a lot of Kickstarters. There's a lot of new books coming out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little events happening. There's a bit of a buzz going on at the moment. I'm feeling it again at the moment.
Yeah. And seeing as we're feeling good about comics, let's recommend some comics, shall we? Let's finish this one strong. Who wants to go first?
Do you want to go first, Steve? Because I'm going to throw myself into your one a bit as well with another similar title, aren't I?
Nice.
Well, I've got two.
Oh, okay.
There's one I'm briefly going to talk about, which will tie into it. I'm not going to talk about it too much at the moment. But the first one that I'm going to talk more about is this book that I picked up after I do the weekly. We all do it. We pick our favourite covers from the Comixology browse each week. We don't necessarily buy these books, but it's whatever cover looks good. Look for it. Look for our Twitter feeds to see what appeals to us every week. And there was a cover I saw that I thought, this looks quite good. I looked at a couple of pages, and it was an original sort of graphic novel on Comixology, came out this week. I looked at a couple of pages and thought, I think I want the printed copy of this. Went to Amazon and immediately ordered it to be delivered the next day. And this is a Creataceous. Which is from Oni Press. I haven't bought an Oni book in quite some time. I kind of forget how good their books are printed and how such a nice, lovely delivered sort of sized book. This is from Tad Galusha. It is basically it's the story of a T-Rex in the late Cretaceous period, and when tragedy strikes its family, it embarks on a harrowing journey to reunite with the remaining member of the group before they are separated permanently. This beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There's no words, it's all actions and sound effects, and it is it's the closest thing I've seen to like an animal documentary in the pages of a book. It's stunning, and it's nice to see you follow the T-Rex. It's nice to see a book where you're following something that is normally the villain of a story. Do you know what I mean? Because T-Rex is normally Tad's work is absolutely stunning, and it really shows the harsh brutality of nature as well. All great nature documentaries. I don't know about you guys, but I love watching nature documentaries. And you always see like the harshness of reality that you can't. You see like animals being hunted, and just the way it's brutal, it's unforgiving, and this plays out very much like that. And you see different sort of species of dinosaur. There's one moment where one dinosaur gets eaten by another, and then it follows that. It's almost like the circle of life, like the dinosaur that's just preyed on something then becomes
like in The Lion King.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, okay.
I never thought you'd reference that on this show. Jesus.
I've never seen it, but yeah, there you go.
You've never seen it. That's a topic for another day. Yeah, and this is
right. Dan's sending me porn again.
Oh, Dan, it's disgraceful. Stop doing it, you filthy monster.
I've not sent porn.
No. He's always trying to drop you in it, isn't he, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll happily send you porn. I don't know.
Oh, but anyway, yeah, this book is 150 pages. You've got the story, which is both pulse pounding and heartbreaking at the same time. I rinsed through it. It's brilliant. There's a field guide for the Cretaceous period in the back, which shows you what North America was like at that time in the world, as well as like diagrams of the dinosaurs, as the classic sort of the books you had when you were a kid, where you see an illustration of a dinosaur and the size of a human being next to it. That was great. There's also those moments where there are dinosaurs that, even though no words are said, you immediately you take a side. You like, some of them are just bastards, and you want to see them get their comeuppance. It's just really, really well done. I was hugely impressed with this book. It's going on my list of probably end of year sort of things. I think
okay.
Yeah, it's probably going to pick. It's a lovely A5 book, because A5 is a lovely size for graphic novel. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I picked up an A5 today from Good Comics. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and it's a great little format. I think A5 is a really sort of handy sort of size as well, especially travelling. If you're going to travel with it, I highly recommend it. I mean, I picked it up from Amazon. You'll see it. You saw it in a comic book store, didn't you, Tony? You saw it.
Yeah, it's in Forbidden Planet. I saw it this week. Yeah. Yesterday, in fact.
Yeah, and it has come out now, so I think it's probably £12-13, or like the digital's like £7-8, which I just went straight for the print copy, and I do not regret it. It's brilliant. And you can follow him at Tad Galusha. I haven't been aware of any of his work before.
No, that's a cool name as well.
But, he wrote it, he illustrated it and coloured it, and he's worked on a TMNT and Ghostbusters, or maybe that's one crossed over. So yeah, look out for that one. Cretaceous. I think as soon as a lot of people liked the cover when I posted it, so it certainly sold me. So that's mine this week. But there is another brief mention. Obviously, I talked about TKO Publishing recently, and how I loved Sarah. I think it's Sarah, actually, because I heard Garth Ennis on a podcast talking about it, and it is Sarah.
Cool. Yeah.
I also, all of their issue ones, well, pretty much most of their issue ones are free downloads at the moment on their website. As well as you can get all of the issues. But another one that I read, I'm working my way through them. I managed to read the Fearsome Dr. Fang.
Oh, I haven't read this one. It's good.
It's another fantastic book. Absolutely fantastic. It's got a real pulpy adventure comic feel. There's great characterization. Story twist that I didn't expect. There are villains who may not be as villainous as you think. Wonderful design. That I think I'm going to talk about it more in depth, because I think I'll pick up the rest of the issues, and that's why I think TKO's way of working is pretty good. Because download the first issue, try it. It doesn't cost you anything, but because I like the first issue, I'm going to get another one. I'm going to you can get them at your leisure.
You got me into them again, because I've ordered Sarah the hard copy, and I've you sent me the link to. We talked about him. What did we talk about this artist? What book was it we talked about?
Enforcer, which is
Enforcer, and
I'd
seen him on Undertow and a couple of other books. It's Artem Trakhanov, and I bought 7 Deadly Sins on digital today, which is another TKO book, written by excuse me for saying this, but TZE Z Chun, who I think is one of the owners or publishers, isn't he?
I think. He's one of the guys that runs it. Yeah,
and. Fucking hell, this book, man. This is one of the best things I've read in a long time.
I've downloaded this and I flicked through it. I haven't read it yet.
Jesus. Trakhanov is a beast. Mate, you will love his work. It's so good. What happened this week is Vince sent us a link to say, look at the Trackenoff art, because he knows I sort of hovered over it a couple of years ago. And I was sitting on the bog, and I bought a page immediately while sitting on the loo of this guy's art. And then I thought you were going to do Seven Deadly Sins. I thought you were going to review it today, Vince. So I read it. I read it this morning. I know, like you, I was just going to read the first issue, sort of freebie. And I thought, nah. So I just bought the whole thing and just tore through it in one reading. I was sat there waiting for Aaron, actually. I was a bit early waiting for him, then it took me an hour, and I just read it all through. And it's kind of like a really, really sort of violent Western, a sort of Dirty Dozen. This is not one of my books I'm recommending, just sort of mention it, but it's sort of a sort of Dirty Dozen mission kind of thing with the most disparate, unpleasant, almost just grotesque group of bandits, outlaws, sort of gunmen that you will ever find.
Trackenoff's art is perfect for that sort of
just looking. Unbelievable. One of them's like a cannibal, one of them's a sort of Civil War sort of deserter, one of them's this Irish girl who's a sort of lock picker, and it's just so good, and it just changes direction constantly, and it doesn't end where you think it is, and it's just genius. I've never seen the indigenous people of North America drawn better than in this comic, I've got to tell you.
Really?
Just outstanding, yeah. So I'd recommend that one. In fact, they're hitting a good rate at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. They're doing
TK, everything they're bringing out.
Yeah, and we might be talking more about them very soon. But,
very soon. Yeah.
Stay tuned to that. But I just love it. Does work. It does work. Sort of looking at it, as soon as you see issue 1, you're like, right, I need to get more of this. You know, I didn't know you bought.
And it's shelf porn as well. Their books are shelf porn. They definitely are.
Yeah,
you know?
I didn't know you bought the whole lot though, dude, of 7 Deadly.
Yeah, I read the whole trade this morning. Yeah,
and if you want to see that work of Trackenoff, like, because he's putting some art pages on, I'll put a link in the show notes of I retweeted it anyway. Just go on the page and have a look anyway. There are some covers which are obviously the higher price stuff, but his pages.
Like $100 for a page of this geezer's art, and this is next level stuff. Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah. So definitely check it out. We're already great fans of his work.
Yeah, Turncoat, which he did with Alex Packnadale as well, is another example of his great art, which is a sort of sci-fi version of his art. Yeah. But it really works for a Western with me. The grotesque, dirty, unpleasant, toothless villains, and it's incredible stuff. Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about your book, or shall we throw it over to one of our?
So I've got a very brief mention, and then I'll do a longer one. So I'll do the brief mention, then we'll hand it over. Yeah. So the brief mention is a book, and I'm not going to go on about it because I don't think it needs it. I just think you need to be told that it's good. It comes out up for pre-order at the moment on the Fair Spark Books site, and it's for sale as of the 1st of May. You can get it, and it's Leaf by Nicole Bates. It's again, funny enough, an A5 book. It's just a story of a fox, and he plays with a leaf, and he chases it around, and he discovers other animals in the woods, and he interacts with them, and sometimes it goes well and sometimes it goes badly, and it's just it's just that's it. That's the whole concept. That's all I needed. That's all I wanted, and it's just and her art has got that sort of naturalistic look to it. It's got that sort of gentle kids book thing going on, and it's just a beautiful little book, and I just sort of read it on the train home. I got a preview copy because I'm sort of I help out Aaron with some stuff, and I got a preview copy, and I absolutely loved it. And awesome. you if you're having a bad day, it's a kid's book, but if you're having a bad day, I'd recommend it to anyone. So you can go to Fair Spark Books, just look them up on Twitter, go to their website, and you can pre-order a copy there. Absolutely cracking stuff. That's 2 for 2 for Nicole for me. That the anxiety book she did, Anxiety Me, I think it was called, was another beautiful little book, and this is another just sort of gentle. Just something that it's just a good thing to have in your day, and it made me smile, and it's just a beautiful little thing, a little book that can sit on your shelf, and great for kids, I have to say. So that's just my brief mention on that one. There you
go. Shall we throw it over to Mr. Butcher?
Yeah, happy to pick up the ball. Is that how that analogy works?
Let's hope so, eh?
Yeah. Otherwise, I made a fool of myself. I've read The Immortal Hulk, the first trade. Oh, yeah. I've got recommended this by Gareth Hopkins and Sarah, both friends of the show. It's an interesting read. I feel like there's a second trade out, and the first one's made me want to pick up the second one immediately.
Oh, brilliant!
I haven't read Hulk in a long while, but the conceit here is that when Bruce Banner dies, he will turn into the Hulk that night and go and seek revenge. So it's an interesting premise. And it plays throughout the story. The artist, it's written by Al Ewing, who's a former guest on the show. I tried to tell him that I really enjoyed it, but he's blocked me on Twitter, so I can't do that. And it's drawn by a chap named Joe Bennett, which I'm not familiar with his work, but he's kind of got is it a Brian Hitch kind of like feel to it? One little complaint about it, like every page bleeds. There's no gutters in between the pages, and there's a couple of times where I've read a page and thought, "Oh, that didn't work," and then I've realised it's not a spread. I've got to read down, not across. So
okay.
It's got a couple of 9-panel grids, which I know you're not a massive fan of, Tony.
Well, no, I don't mind. I just think they're overused. It's obviously like them in Watchmen and stuff. It's like
there's some really lovely work, really interesting thing to do with the Hulk. I always think, what can you do with the Hulk that hasn't already been done? And then they bring out stuff like World War Hulk and stuff like this. And I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so I'm going to be grabbing the second trade and seeing where the story goes, because it's got a nice, interesting little hook, which I don't really want to spoil for readers or potential readers, but it's nice. Yeah, a good one.
Cool.
Might have to seek that out, because I have heard nothing but good things about
it. Is it Martin Simmons is in volume 2, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, he does some work. Yeah. I won't be that bastard who doesn't mention everyone. So it's written by Al Ewing, Joe Bennett the penciler, Ruse Jose the inker, Paul Mounts color artist, and it's got VC's Corey Petit and Travis Lanham doing the letters.
Nice.
There you go. And some of the covers, you got like the pencil covers at the back, which just absolutely amazing, and some of the design work, which I love seeing.
Yeah.
It's nice, good stuff.
Nice.
Cool.
So before Tony signs us off, you've got one more left, haven't you, Tony?
I have, yeah.
So before Joey, what would you like to recommend to our listeners?
I had a Kickstarter come through yesterday. Pure Dead Mental by James Mculloch.
Hey, great cover.
You did the cover, didn't you, Dan?
Yeah, I did the cover on this one.
Fantastic. It's a black and white anthology of 4 short horror stories. I shot through it as soon as it came through the door. Big fan of James's work.
I love James.
I mean, good guy as well. One thing I'd like to know about this, because when I saw the Kickstarter, God bless James, he was always like, it's very dark, very twisted, it may not be for everyone, but if you like that, this is for you, but it is very dark, it's not for everyone. Is it pretty dark and twisted inside?
It's more than dark and twisted. It's no, it's great. If you're familiar with James's work, he's great at telling stories, and if you like his stuff, it's more of that. And it makes my horror stuff look PG. So well done, James.
Jesus,
that's mine.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's landing in people's sort of post now.
I've literally just messaged him to say I'll see you at the weekend, and he's messaged me back literally as we're talking there, so that's good.
Oh, hello, James.
Yeah, cool.
Right, Tony, sign us off.
So my last one is one that I sent to you, I think the week before last, guys, and I said, fuck me, you got to read this, and it's Ronin Island by Boom.
Yeah.
Written by Greg Pak, art by Giannis Milogiannis, colours Irma. They don't make it easy, do they?
No.
Irma Nivila. Letters by Simon Boland. There you go. So there's a mysterious attack wipes out all the major cities in 19th century Japan, Korea, and China. And the survivors build their own little societies. And there's a little society of Ronins who build up their lives again on this island. There's Hannah, who is an orphan girl, and Kenichi, who is the son of a samurai leader. They don't really like each other, and they sort of compete in a competition to be the greatest warrior on the island. This is obviously sort of an annual, biannual type thing. And just as the competition ends, a huge wooden ship arrives on the shores of the island, and it bears the seal of the shogun. And they well, this can't be the shogun. The shogun's been dead for 30 years. And a general from the ship walks ashore, and he's in sort of full battle armor, and he demands they show fealty to his shogun, sort of thing. And they're saying, well, we've heard this a lot. We've heard of shoguns. He said, well, you're an island of Ronin. This can't be right. Well, you need to join our army. And I'm going to spoil this because I think it's worth it, because this is a first issue setup, and I think to not mention this wouldn't do credit to what the book's actually about. But what happens, so if you're going to buy this and you don't hear it, then just fast forward a couple of minutes. But what happens is, just as they're having that discussion, a mutant army invades the other side of the island. And it's just this brilliant moment. You think you didn't see that coming, You thought, this is going to be the Ronin defending their island against the Shogun's sort of army. But no, there's this army of sort of mutants, and all the people on this island, you discover all these people are warriors. So the little old lady who's kind of the leader of the island, she picks up a sort of curved sword, and she's part of them. They literally ends with them all legging it towards this group of mutants who are killing farmers on the other side of the island. It's just so well written. The pacing in it is just really, really good. I think issue 2 comes out next week. I think it is. Issue 1 sold out, and I think it's gone back to a second print. I got mine digitally, so I read it digitally. But it looks a little bit like a sort of traditional manga style. The only sort of small fault I had with it is that I'm not a big manga reader, and I found a lot of the faces very similar. I think it's a problem I find with manga quite a lot.
Right.
It's got more of a sort of American. It's a crossover. It's like a manga crossed with an American comic. So it's full color. The pages are much more rendered. There's much more detail than your average sort of page turner manga comic, I think it's fair to say. And it's obviously done in a monthly sort of format. It's got that sort of heightened melodrama to some extent that you get in manga. Everyone's sort of very sort of melodramatic and over the top with the sort of emotions and stuff like that. And like a lot of manga, it's got that sort of great sense of sort of non-stop action. It's also got that, what you get in some manga, you get like almost like an adherence to the honor system that you get perhaps more in Japan than you get in the West. There's that sort of rank structure, and people obeying like the bosses of companies, and the samurai bosses and all this sort of thing. But it's organized, the pages are organized more in a Western way, so it's laid out as if it was a Western comic. Just some of the action in it is really good. I really enjoy Greg Pak's writing. I think he's a really underrated writer. Everything from sort of Planet Hulk all the way through to, he did some great Eternal Warrior stuff at Valiant that I really enjoyed. You might know the artist. He did Prophet. He did a couple of issues of Prophet which were really good back in the day. Nice. Remember the original when Prophet was just sort of this really sort of imaginative story. He's done some new Ultimates. He's done some Turtles work. Just a really strong opener. I've done a couple of opening issues, and I know in Incursion the second issue kind of let me down a bit, but I'm hoping this is going to be better because it sets up for the action to keep rolling, which I'm hoping it's going to in this one. It was going to be a mini-series, but I think WonderCon's this weekend. I think it's been yesterday and today, and they've announced at WonderCon that it's going to be an ongoing, so it's really promising. And I've never pressed the subscribe button on Comixology, but I did it for this one, so it'll land in my inbox. Do any of you guys subscribe to books on there? I don't know.
I do. I've only done it with one, and
okay.
Oh, God, I can't remember the name now. Give me a couple of minutes.
Right, okay.
Where is it? Oh, it's one of my favourite books at the moment. I can't believe
so
it.
Presumably it just lands every time an issue comes out. They just charge your account and it lands.
Yeah,
in your,
it does. It's immediate.
Yeah.
Outer Darkness.
Okay.
That's the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. I just really like the idea of. I mean, often we get the post-apocalyptic world of comics is sometimes a little bit oversaturated. I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bit too zombie. Sometimes it's a bit too punky, cyberpunky sort of thing. But this is like a really fresh attempt. You've got an island full of warriors. These people are all trained as warriors, and then you only realise that as the book goes on. And you've got the fact that everywhere outside this island, there's clearly like just hell going on. There's sort of mutants fighting warriors and armies, and all this shit is going on outside of this island that sits in the sort of mist in the sea. But suddenly the hell comes to this island, and you realise that their whole society, where they've been self-sufficient for all these sort of donkey's years, is just going to fall. And it's just so well. It's just such a great setup. Really, really good. I'm really interested to see where it's going to go. So I'm all over this series, and they've got some absolutely outstanding covers as well. Some real
brilliant. Yeah, the cover of issue 1's beautiful. The lighting on issue 1's beautiful.
Yeah, they kind of sort of it's almost like a traditional Japanese art style. They sort of almost like a faux version of that with a sort of the modern comic sensibility added to it. Really, really beautiful stuff. Nice. Yeah, so that's out of Boom. I can't remember how much it was in Comixology, but buy it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, nice one.
So,
there you go. That's
for God's sake, check out the show notes this week because there is loads of amazing comics and stuff that you haven't heard of before to check out, which is always brilliant. Also brilliant is our guest. Thank you again, Joey, for joining us this week. Been good.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Long time coming. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we're looking forward to actually meeting you at a convention. Lord knows you.
Yeah, I'll see you on Saturday, dude.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and we hope you enjoyed this episode out there. Let us know what you thought, or if you disagree with us on anything. But who would disagree with us?
Yeah. Are you mad?
No. But if you are mad, then you can email us awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter @theawesomepod, where we'll be posting up the latest guests. We keep threatening to do a poll, but we haven't done one in ages. So
no, we'll never do one.
Who knows? There'll be amusing memes or GIFs at some point, I'm sure. But if you do the Book of Faces, go to facebook.com/awesomecomicspodcast and join the group Awesome Comics Talk if you're on Facebook as well, because there's a great community going on there.
That's exploded this week.
Yeah.
Loads this week on there.
Yeah. Talking about making comics, comic conventions, just, what books are you reading at the moment? There's no hard selling of Kickstarters.
We've had a good conversation, I think, today and yesterday about rights issues.
Yeah.
A good one about, how to get ISBN numbers, that sort of thing. Yeah, there's some real help going on for people on there. Yeah, really good stuff.
I mean, Facebook is normally like an endless pit of fire, but there is one decent thing on there, and that's the Awesome Comics Talk group. Yeah. So join it if you do that sort of social media. Thank you very much for listening to us, whether it was on the website awesomecomics.podbean.com or if you've got the Podbean app or wherever. If you listen to us on iTunes, subscribe and leave a review. Helps get the word out about the show and tons of these awesome comics that people need to know about. Thank you for listening to us, whether it was on Spotify, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife. What other networks are we on, Tony?
Pod pegging.
I was ready for that one because he threatened it earlier.
I told you that one earlier.
Yeah. And you're not going to hear an outtake of why he said that. You're just not. So just do the math, people. Do the math. And where can people find us all online, etc.? Tony?
Never on anything.blogspot.co.uk. 4's gone up this week, put 4 up. Or SISEZOHYZ.
Brilliant. Dan?
You can find me on Twitter @Vanguard Comic, and you can read Vanguard at vanguardcomic.com.
Yes.
Yay.
Loving it at the moment, Dan.
Thank you.
It's great. It's cracking. I can tell you're enjoying it as well. Yeah.
I sure am. Yeah. Lots of fun.
I sure am. God, you're a smooth bastard.
On Wednesday's page is a bit of a callback to 90s Image comics with people jumping out of jets.
Nice. Yeah.
So look forward to that one.
Yeah.
You guys have seen a peek of that already.
Yeah, you're in for a treat, people. You're in for a treat. You can follow me online, whether it be Instagram or Twitter @JesterDiablo. You can find out more about my comic at theredmaskfrommars.com. And our lovely guest, Joey, where can people find you and your comics, my friend?
Twitter, I'm on Joey Afterlight. Afterlight Comics on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and the website is afterlightcomics.com. Digital and physical copies of the comics all on there.
Nice.
Cool.
Be sure to check out the website and and follow Joey on social media because that's how you find out about the new books coming out. So there you go, folks. Be another cracking one. Stay tuned to find out what more surprises we've got in store on the lead up to episode 200. It's pretty much we're sprinting towards 200 with all the guests we've got coming up, and then we're just going to have a break for half a year.
Just us.
Yeah, it's just going to be us for another half a year after 200.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. What's wrong with that, Tony? Do you like Dan? He doesn't like spending time with us, Dan.
You're a liar.
Yeah, Tony does like it. I love it.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, says the boy who wasn't here last week. Anyway.
That 200 show is going to be interesting. The closer it gets, the more fucking nervous I'm getting about it. But
why are you getting nervous about it?
I don't know.
Is it because you're a never nude?
Well, and that. But
Anyway, thank you very much for listening, folks. From Dan, Tony, Joe, and myself. Go forth, read lots of comics, have a brilliant week, and as always, what do they do, Dan?
Stay awesome.
Thank you very much. See ya.
See you later.
Love you.